I'm Brent Leary.
Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM players, and yeah, I look a little different. Well, maybe not look a little. My surroundings are a little different.
That's not a green screen.
No, it isn't. It's actually green grass in the backyard. It's and green shrubs and all sorts of. It's greenery out here.
It's a
It's almost like
greenery screenery.
I'm Brent Greenberg here. No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
it's a greenery screenery.
Well, it's something, but it is the CRM players, and it is the first NFL game of the year coming up tonight. And yes, I'm sporting a piece of brand new Rams gear just for the occasion.
Makes complete sense. And the
Looks
good news is, not only is that great Rams gear, but you are guaranteed to be able to watch it alone.
yeah, I'm actually I have mixed feelings about the league, NFL starting right now because I've so thoroughly enjoyed my summer of championshipness. It's been so cool being able to just relax and know that we're number one.
You're still
But
number one.
yeah, I know, but now there's no more relaxing because the stress kicks in. By the way, we have to say, wow, I don't even know what language this is, but Sven is in the house.
Kexo. Wow.
What is that?
Kexo. I think he's got me on this one. Holy cow. Kexo
I don't even know how to pronounce it. Lagunic?
Lagunak. Yeah,
Lagunic?
Lagunic. Lagunic? Kexo Lagunic? Lagunic? I don't have a
All right,
clue.
Sven.
Sven, we need you, man. Come
We'll
on,
just
let us
both,
know what
I'll
this is.
say uncle for both of us on that one because there's no
Yeah.
way we know what that is.
No.
So you let us know what language that is, and we'll keep moving. All right. So I'm actually on location, I guess, in the backyard of the house I grew up in. So I'm in Delaware. Nice little breeze just came in. It's sunny. Very glad to be here. Very nice to be here. Sitting on the outside on the deck on the outside. The only thing I didn't like is I couldn't find a cherry Coke Zero for my life here in Delaware. I
Pepsi?
actually had to resort to Pepsi Zero cherry.
I didn't
Just
even know there was a cherry Pepsi
it's
Zero.
just not the same.
Oh God! Oh, Basque! Wow, way to
That's some kind of
go!
Spanish thing.
Yeah, no, it's French. It's sort of French Spanish.
Oh,
The Basque is Basque actually. The Basque region is the sort of mountainous region between France and Spain, and they have a dialect that's actually I think it's actually not a dialect. I think it's classified as a language,
ah.
and it's just amazing.
Is that
Huh?
Bob Fagel?
Maybe.
It can't be. Wasn't he here? Didn't he hear about the big
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
dance?
like that's recent because
Who,
Bob
who
heard
are
all
you?
about it. Yeah,
Who,
that's
who,
right.
I wish we knew who you were.
You know who it is? It's Deadbolt.
It could be the ransom guys. Yeah, is
It
that
is. It's the
that?
ransom guy saying, "Sorry to hear about it. Why don't you tell him about your experience?"
I have to give them credit. I like the name. They picked a
Dead,
really interesting name.
Paul Rudd would probably have some problems with that one.
Oh, is there a movie called Deadbolt?
There's two movies called Deadbolt. I don't know if it's Dead. No, it's Deadpool. It's not Deadbolt.
Oh, that's Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds, isn't it?
Ryan Reynolds, not Paul. I always do that. I always mean Ryan Reynolds and say Paul Rudd. I don't know why. They're the same style of humor, but they do totally different things.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
would say
both of them are hilariously funny.
I would say Ryan Reynolds is. Well, you're right. They do kind of have a similar style.
Yeah, the
And
style is very similar with that kind of, they can riff on humor. They got that ironic kind of great sense of humor. But Ryan Rudd does a lot more sort of action things than Ryan Reynolds does more
well,
action
wait a
things than
minute.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd was the ant, wasn't he?
That's true. He was Ant Man or the
So
Ant.
it's the ant versus
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah. And well, also Ryan Reynolds was was that movie where he was an alternate reality person?
Oh, that he was also the Green Hornet. Remember that?
Oh God, yeah, that was terrible.
It was very bad. But
He wasn't the only. Wasn't Seth Rogen the Green Hornet in another movie?
yeah,
Oh no, he was he
Green Lantern,
Green Lantern. He was Green
something like
Lantern.
that. There's some green in there.
There's Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and Green Hornet.
and the Green Berets. But yeah,
Right.
that was John Wayne. So we won't go there.
And Robin, who's the singer? Robin, fighting soldiers from the sky. That guy.
I don't know.
Green Berets. It was like a number one hit song in '63 or something.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one, but that was good. Sounds like it was a good one.
It wasn't.
Anyway, so yes, this is the CRM Players. I don't know if I got a chance to say that. And it is a little different this time around. It's a little different hour, mainly because, well, I'm in Delaware. That's one of the reasons. Maybe also because I'm already starting to get nervous for Thursday night football against the Bills. I wonder if Bob Stutz is out there, by the way. Bob, we're going head to head again. Um, may the better team win, if it's mine. That's all I'll say. The Green Giant? Oh, the Jolly Green Giant?
That's right. The Green Giant.
What
It's
was
got
that
to be
name?
Bob Fagel. The
Yeah,
Green
maybe.
Giant was the food guy.
Yeah, that ho ho ho
Ho ho
Green
ho.
Giant, or
That guy.
something like that. Anyway,
Oh, and then there's the Hulk is green,
and he's pretty incredible too.
right? And She Hulk is green. I
And
like that show
he's pretty
actually.
incredible too. Yeah.
She's actually what was her name? Tamara Matzalan or something like that. She's an actress who I forget the name of the show she starred in, but she played like multiple roles on this one show, and she's fantastic at what she does. And she's a really good. I'm watching She Hulk now because I think she's very funny. And I mean, some of She Hulk's a little bit hokey, but like the
Is it
talking to the
hokey or
camera thing,
is it hokey or hulky?
both.
All right. Thought I thought.
But
All
she's
right.
green.
All right. All right. Well, that's so there's a green theme running throughout the whole show. So we'll see how long that continues.
Ooh, you know
But
what I could do?
what's that?
Watch this. Look at the lower corner of my screen now. It's green.
Ah, look at that.
I just
I
changed it
wonder
to
how many
green.
people would have noticed that if you
None.
had. uh, all right.
I'm
So
moving
yes, it's a little different show because, well, it's been a little different week for the venerable Paul Greenberg.
slightly.
A couple of different things happened. You got stung by a bee, right? That was one of them.
No, it turned out I figured out what it was because I saw the nest of them today. It's a yellow jacket.
Wow. Okay.
That was just the culmination of the week, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the kind of the teaser.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was the, that was kind of punctuated
uh,
week
do you
and
want
punctured.
before we go deep into that? Do you want to say anything about the passing of the Queen of England?
No, I mean, I appreciate the fact she lived to be 96, but
Yeah, she lived a good
hoping
long life.
I can do the same. But beyond that, no, Yvonne would probably feel that more because she grew up in Newfoundland and Canada. Was I mean, and Newfoundland before it became part of Canada was still a Commonwealth country, right? So, the Queen played a huge part. The kings and queens of Great Britain played a huge part in the lives of Canadians, and it still does really, even though they're an independent country now. But
Right.
but there's still like a fascination with all the things going on in the land of queendom, and so I was sorry to see it. Probably wouldn't have been so sorry 300 years ago, right? Since we were just at that point we were still a colony, I think. So yeah, we still were. But
Definitely.
I felt sorry that that happened. Beyond that, not much.
Yeah, she seemed like a nice person from afar. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I could say. And rest in peace.
Yeah.
All right. So you had something happen to you. And you said it wasn't even the first time this happened.
Yeah. So here's the story. Start at the beginning. Uh, Over a year ago, and I promise I won't go day by day. Over a year ago, I got hit with a small ransomware attack on my QNAP server. I use a network assisted storage device, NAS, and that I've used it because I have terabytes of information, 14 to be exact, that I have to deal with. So I've had this device for, actually, I've had QNAP devices for about 10 years, and this particular one for 6 years. So I got hit by this ransomware attack called QLocker, but I kind of saw it coming, and it only hit a small amount of files. And I actually, at the time, was able to kind of shut its system down before it got too far. But it only went after one file area anyway. It didn't have anything there I cared about, so I let it go. And then I took the measures that QNAP suggested to block QLocker from hitting in the future. Well, little did I know that QNAP is, let's say, a genuinely crappy company when it comes to customer experience and all other things related to customers. So this past Saturday, I was going to look at some files that I needed. A video file, actually, I was looking for actually one that's related to our launch of PPN. And it said suffix was deadbolt. I'm saying, what? So I went in and looked, and all 114,000 plus files had been encrypted, hit with a ransomware attack, which basically took all the files, gave them a suffix of deadbolt as the result of the encryption. So needless to say, this is Saturday morning, last Saturday. I'm starting to look around to try to figure out what to do. And I find out that QNAP, not telling anybody, not sending out emails throughout the year, since January, has hit by 4, I think, or 5, I forget which, but it's 4 or 5 attacks of Deadbolt. And Deadbolt is this highly professional ransomware gang who give you no way to communicate with them, but put all the appropriate information you need to do whatever it is you do. And I'll explain that in a minute. To pay them and then decrypt, but you can't contact them. And they're really good about preventing you from contacting them. And so I go on the QNAP website and find, oh, well, we solved the new Deadbolt attack, which was the one that happened on Saturday the 3rd. It took us 12 hours. They exploited a problem in the photo station app, blah, 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 blah. And then when I researched more, I found out about the other 3, I think it was 3 or 4, but other 3 or minimally 3 attacks that they had since January. And I realized I have never seen a single email about an attack of any kind from these guys warning me, say, watch your files. And I found out all they ever do is put up a security notice when it happens. Now, who's looking for ransomware attacks that morning, unless you're some IT professional who's responsible for an enterprise and you're dealing with their servers, and you have QNAP products, you might do that. But 99% of their customers are not that, or whatever percent. And I wasn't looking. And that's how I found out they had all these attacks. Now, so that's first thing. So secondly, then I said, uh-oh. So I go and I start looking at the ransomware. I send a note to QNAP saying, what do I do? Blah, 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 blah. Hear nothing. Absolutely nothing. I go online, I look around, I find a number of people have been hit by this very one, saying it was, and there was, I'm not joking, they've been hit so often that in the QNAP community, there were 65 pages of discussions about Deadbolt and what to do through experience that people had had. Now, the Deadbolt plan was, as far as they were concerned, what happens when you go in, you don't see the admin page you normally see on their operating system. You see a Deadbolt page that says, hi, here's the address that you need to pay 0.05 Bitcoin to. And they even say, watch the bit. And in this thing, when they say that, they said, what will happen is when you do that, we will quickly send you the decryption key. And there were 2 other things they kind of inserted. They said, go to blockchain.com and track the address or something like that to attract, things, sites like blockchain.com, and track them, track the actual transaction, and you'll see the decryption key under it's called op post op or op dev or something. I forget what it's called now. And the key will be there. And then they also said, listen, be aware that I forgot to tell you guys this earlier, but be aware that the Bitcoin market is very volatile. So if you catch it at the right time, you might pay a lower price.
Mm.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for the advice. Right. So anyway, I talked to a bunch of people, some cybersecurity guys. They said these guys are really good, and basically the only way you're going to get your data back is pay for it. So I thought, all right, I'll do it. Paid $1,000. Well, it's a little tiny bit less than $994, and I thought, okay. Oh, they said if you don't, in their thing, the idea was you get the decryption key. There's a thing that says decrypt files, like a little, like a search, a search box, that equivalent to that. But you put your key in there, paste it in there, and then hit decrypt, and it'll start working. So the other thing they said, look, we are very, very quick about sending the decryption keys back. If you really want to, you don't believe that, or you want to confirm that, just Google us and you'll see. They want to make sure that you know that they're honorable, right? So
Wow.
thieves
Okay.
with honor, right? So I Googled them, and it was true. So I didn't see my key for a while, and then I went back to the QNAP things and found out I had not done one thing. So I went and did that thing, and I found the key. It was there. I thought I had not gotten it for hours, but I had it actually. I did a time check. I had the key within a minute of the transaction, a minute and a half of the transaction finishing. Right? It was. They sent their version of their additional transaction with the key, and it was right there. So I plug it in. I start decrypting. And I'm thinking, okay, nightmare over. No. Unbeknownst to me, it decrypts 114,000 files. The page goes away. And then when I look at the files, I find some decrypted, but a lot of them aren't decrypted. And I found out why, because there was a hard drive failure of one of the NAS drives in the middle of this. And for some reason, and I understand the reasoning, because there was a hard drive failure, and then there was some bad sectors on another drive, because QNAP says, okay, that's two drives in jeopardy. It puts it in read-only status. And I can access the files, look at them. I can't do anything. And what happened was, in the middle of the decryption, it went into read-only. The decryption kept going, but no action was being taken on the files to decrypt them because they couldn't. This was QNAP forces it into read-only mode. So anyway, I'm crazy, because then if I can, the other thing that the Deadbolt ransomware gang mentioned, they said, look, if decryption fails, this third party, MSISoft, has developed a tool, which we can't guarantee because we don't use it, where you can take your decryption key, put it in there, and you can still decrypt the files even with the decryption page gone. So if it does fail, here's the link. They had the link, and you go get the key. And at the time, I went and got the actual decryptor. I got that deliberately just in case. Well, so I have spent, first of all, I spent all kinds of time trying to I contacted QNAP on Facebook. I popped them an email. And never got even a single response. Here's the other thing. Well, as I look, QNAP has never taken any responsibility whatsoever, never apologized for any of these attacks. And you have these people who are apologists for QNAP, these engineers who think they're God's gift to man, and they're saying, well, it's your responsibility to back up and secure all your files, and that's true. But it's QNAP's responsibility to stop building software with exploitable flaws, which they've done at least 4 times for one gang, right? So I'm sorry, they have a big responsibility. I wouldn't actually need to secure or back it up if they built impenetrable software. Now, that said, I don't blame them for it happening once, but I do blame them for happening 4 times. and always through a different route, which makes me think fire all QNAP software engineers immediately, right? Because they have some messy ones there. I don't mean that because I don't want to jeopardize anybody's job, but the reality is they have a big problem.
Yeah,
And so,
but could you talk about the irony of
oh
the
yeah,
Bolt ransom, their approach to CX versus
oh yeah, no, I am actually going to write. You'll see a blog post, and it'll be one of the segments. It'll be the news segment on Talking Headless, the podcast at launch. We'll be talking exactly how I had a way better experience with the ransomware gang than I did with QNAP. QNAP is pathetic at CX. The ransomware gang is not bad, right, at it, given that they're crooks. You know, I mean, they're basically should be
crooks,
prosecuted. Obviously, they're criminals, but
crooks
same
with
time,
honor. I mean, they have there's a code to their crookery. Is that what I
well,
heard?
there's a thieves with honor, man. That's what they are. They're thieves with honor. Where QNAP is a company with no honor. I mean, QNAP's disgusting, to be honest. I actually bought a Synology drive, which is now optimizing. Now it takes 22 hours to optimize the RAID configuration. But but I will never deal with QNAP again, and I will warn people off QNAP. I did my research and found out QNAP's attacked more frequently than almost any other company, certainly more than Synology when it comes to ransomware. Um, and but QNAP's absolutely lack of apology, their absolute irresponsibility in continually to have these exploitable flaws, and again taking no accountability for it, and then having these apologist assholes who are sitting there saying it's your fault to the person who's been attacked, right? And again, look, the ransomware again doesn't know me. They don't steal my files and look for my financial information. They're attacking QNAP servers, right? They're attacking things tied to QNAP, servers basically. So the QNAP CX, absolutely. If the zero or from 1 to 10 is, I'll give them a 1, only because they have a community that's pretty smart, and that it's flourishing. But here's the thing: I don't even see. I read these 65 pages. I read almost every page, and unless I missed something, and it's possible I did, I never see QNAP responding in there at all. It's just the people communicating with each other, and there may be some individual QNAP engineers who are responding under their own name. So I don't want to be absolute on that, but the reality is QNAP, the community itself is amazingly smart. Um, the company is a disgusting. They are literally a prime example of the kind of things I can use in presentations to show how not to do it. And the irony is the ransomware company is so much better at it. They make you, at least they tell you all the options. They tell you, look, we're honorable. You can Google it and it's proof
We're
out. There's proof
honorable.
out there,
That's the thing.
right? Right. Well, they're criminals. These are criminals. But it's like, I think somebody on the happy hour put it really well. It's like they were just, it might have been Kevin Nix, but somebody said, look, or maybe Bob Fagel, I don't want to shoot you, really, so you really should accede to what I'm saying, right? But I really don't want to shoot you. It's sort of like that. I
Well,
mean, ultimately,
they don't want to shoot you because dead men don't pay. I mean,
right, exactly. Well, I mean, the other side is too, on this, you know, it makes sense for them to do this from a practical standpoint, because if everyone finds out, well, you know what, we pay, but they never send us the key, then no
yeah,
one's ever going to pay them because they're
pay
never
again.
going to get the key.
Right.
Right. So there's a very practical reason to sound, at least,
So there's no real honor.
reasonable.
It's more practical,
No.
more
Right. Of
practicality.
course it is. To their credit, they give me the links to third parties, and things like that I needed in case. And so they put some time into thinking through
Yeah.
how the ransomware victims are thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
let's not call it honor among thieves. Let's call it
no, it's not
practicality
honor
among
among
thieves.
thieves.
Yeah. It's practicality among thieves. And meaning, yeah, we're gonna ransom your data. And if we don't give you your data back once you pay us, we'll be out of business. So,
Right. Well, there's this thing, and this is the title of my blog post on my customer, which is I'll write once I get my other thing taken care of. I've actually had a good breakthrough in recapturing my data a little bit ago. But the title of blog post is going to be, and no, it's not the Bettelheim syndrome, because the Bettelheim syndrome is basically a syndrome where you adopt the activity, you empathize with you sort of empathize with your oppressors out of fear, right? So, I mean, it's got a much grimmer origin, which I won't go into because it's really grim.
Is that named after Freddie Bellenheim?
No, Bettelheim,
Oh,
Bruno
Freddie
Bettelheim. It was
Bettelheim,
Bruno
Paris.
Bettelheim, the psychoanalyst who came up with that.
Yeah, I thought it was that dude on Fifth Street. That anyway.
No, hardly. Anyway, the net is the post is going to be how with some tongue in cheek on this, but post is going to be how my experience with the ransomware gang was far better than my experience with QNAP.
That is crazy.
And I'm going to recommend it. I said, look, if you're looking for good customer experience, I recommend Deadbolt over QNAP.
I mean, just think about that statement and let it sink in. If you were QNAP, somebody's head should be rolling.
I don't think they give a crap. I
And
don't
that's
think
the
they give a
sad
crap.
part.
Yeah.
Apparently, they don't. And what does that have to say about them? I mean, when
Yeah.
you think about it, when you ask yourself, this is such a weird situation. Who's the real villain? The ransom folks or the QDOT folks for their total mismanagement of the ransom?
Well, the let's say this: the villain is ransomware gang. But they're the facilitator of the villain, because they are literally creating that exploitable software, and then they're coming up with the fixes of it. But again, if you've been attacked 4 times in 1 year by the same one, I should have gotten at least one notification that you've had this problem throughout the year. No, the only emails I ever get, and I checked against all my emails that I got from QNAP, because they're still in my files, in my email file, was on, we've launched this new product. You can buy this. That was it. All of them. And I have dozens and dozens of those. But I have nothing saying, hey, we have been attacked. And please take these measures. We're so sorry this happened. We apologize. Even that stupid insincere one that people use. We apologize for the inconvenience. That one, right?
Or the one against me. If our actions have offended you, we are
Yeah. Well, and say we apologize for your stupidity is how QNAP
yeah,
seems to think about it.
yeah, we're apologizing, because you feel like we should, but we really don't care.
Look, and to your point, this is a very odd thing. I mean, this whole thing is very odd. There's a lot of things that make it. I found it so funny once I reconcile the fact. Although it looks like I can actually, if the Deadbolt third-party decryptor works, looks like I can recover my data. Take me a while, but I can do it. But the thing that's really striking is that QNAP just doesn't care. I mean, they don't seem to care whatsoever. And I'm not the only one. I was reading other, forum community commentary would say, well, we've never gotten an email on this like that in the course of the discussions. And again, thank God for the QNAP community, except for the putsy engineers who are the ones who say you're an ass for not securing yourself. Those people, rather than saying, oh God, I'm so sorry you've been attacked and have to pay and all your data's at risk. And really so they just like pile it on thinking, oh, well, you're way less a person than I am, obviously, because I secure my data. That's the kind of people they are. But other than those guys, there's a fantastically helpful series of discussions. And these guys are really pro. I mean, they go deep technically too. But they'll like take this SSH, which is through Telnet. So it's a command line kind of stuff. And you will see they will literally paste in all the command line stuff you have to do. So you can just cut it and paste it into SSH. I mean, like and it's scrolling code and the whole thing. I mean, it really, really will helpful. I didn't do that because I've done it before, but with QLocker. But thank God for them.
What a mess. And
Yeah, I
what a
was.
revealing mess! What it's revealed a lot beyond the unfortunate ransom of your data. It's you, you just got to wonder how why would people buy anything from QNAP? I don't care how great the product, technically speaking, is. If it comes along with all this,
Yeah.
there's no way. And I was
No.
thinking about buying one because I forget the guy on the ATEM, one of those ATEM YouTubers,
Yeah.
Alex.
Alex Pettit. Alex Pettit.
He was of course their sponsor is, but he
Yeah.
was raving about because I wanted to be able to have a NAS where I could be able to edit videos from the NAS drive, not have to have it locally on my on my hard drive, and having the speed of the NAS be able to actually do that effect. So I was all about to do that, and then you go through this. You think I'm going to touch that now? Absolutely not.
No, you know what? Look, if you're looking for look, Synology's got its own issues, but not like this. And they are actually a little more responsive. So far anyway. I've actually sent them some. I will tell you, one thing I've learned through the process is I went online to find out who are the people who can help me understand NAS better than I. And there's this one guy, and it's just NAS Compare is the name of his YouTube site and his website. He's fantastic. I highly recommend him to everybody who is thinking about NAS at all on any level. This guy is brilliant. He's also I haven't used him, but he's also an independent consultant on this stuff, and he's really he's out of the UK. I'm super impressed with this guy at so many levels, and he's got a nine video set on how to just set up the Synology NAS drives, including, and he happens to be using the one I bought, right? Um, this guy is, if anyone is looking for that, this guy is thorough. He is honest. He's also he's engaging, and he's tremendously knowledgeable. He's now my go-to for this.
All right. Well, hopefully we may have some additional context here from a guest we may or may not have. I'll
Doesn't
keep
look
an eye
good.
out for him. Not in the green room, but as we potentially wait for him, something else happened yesterday, or is that? Yeah, that was just yesterday. It feels like so much talk has been around it, but it was just yesterday that Apple announced the new iPhone 14 and the Watch 8.
Yeah,
I think they're even a new uh,
AirPods
AirPod.
Pro
Yeah, yeah,
with
all that kind
two.
of. So there's a lot of anticipation, a lot of focus. I know you have an Amazon 13 Pro Max. I have an Amazon 13 Pro Max.
App? You mean Apple? You're saying Amazon?
Yeah, Apple. Yeah, my money goes to either one of those two A's anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, your thoughts? Are you just having bought the latest one? Did what you see make you want to already upgrade from this guy?
As far as the phone goes, the answer is somewhat likely, but not 100%. Only the big deal. Look, I mean, given that we're doing all the things we're doing with PPN and so on, cameras now mean a lot more to me than they used to. And Apple, the iPhone cameras are important. Now the thing is, I just geared up the 13 Max Pro like 2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
So, well, just with a small rig cage and a moment lens. That was just a couple of things. None of which the moment lens may work, but the small rig cage won't because the dimensions of the 14 are slightly different. I mean, like minusculely different, but
Just
that's
enough.
enough to make it not work. And again, they're only $49 or something. I'm not too worried. But they changed one of the cameras. I forget which one, but it went from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels, which, if you think about it, is more than almost every major camera we deal with when it comes to sensor size. I mean, we're dealing with great ones that have what, 23,
Yeah.
half that. These are 48. And there's all kinds of additional capabilities built in, like the f-stop is f1.9. right? So the app, when you have an aperture of f1.9, holy crap, man! So low light
Yeah.
works fantastically well. I mean, these are now coming to the level of, without the complexity, of course, of professional cameras, right? Maybe it can be considered simple in terms of the detailed amount of things you can do with it, but from the standpoint of the pictures it takes, close to professional level, if not actually professional level cameras, that part makes me think. The other thing, battery life,
Yep.
right? Battery life, you know, improves by, I don't know, 12 hours or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big improvement in battery life, even the watch, even more so. Um, and that is major for me. And there's all kind the what do you call that again? The the that little piece on the top that,
Oh, they call it the dynamic island or something.
yeah, but what are they call it something in the 13 that's
I,
it is just according to need. Um, I agree, Jeff. I mean, it was an impressive phone. It probably had enough to make me want to do it. And the other thing is, my upgrade, I mean, my trade-in value for the phone is 720. So, and that's I have a 256 gigabyte phone. I can get the 512 with this straight from Apple. I was going to do it from Verizon, but that's too complicated. I can get it straight from Apple. The net cost to me was $679.
so you could turn. How much do you get on your 13 Pro Max trade in?
720, which is a pretty substantial trade in. So I there's a good chance I already have it sitting in the pre-ordered thing, but I haven't pulled the trigger because I can't actually run through order till tomorrow. But I will do that. I think the watch, the only watch of that's even is interesting is the Ultra, and it's kind of too much. Meaning it's got stuff I'll never use, like you know diving things and things for marathon runners
You,
and mountain climbers.
what
Not
about
have
you're not going to use the ovulation thing?
well, well that all of the watches have that, the body temperature sensor. So if I'm ovulating, but and even that's the thing, the body temperature sensor only apparently works at night. It doesn't work all day, so it's not really. I mean, it's not. It's still good, but I was hoping I saw in one of the things that was done by that guy Matt, who does all the rumors on these things, that there was the glucose monitor was going to be there, and if that was true, I was all in on that one.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah, not not the best. The one thing though about the Ultra is battery life on the watch. It's astounding. 36 hours at full power and 60 hours
Yeah, that's
at
nice.
low power. And
That's
this watch, one of the biggest issues I have with it, I have to charge it I charge it every evening so I can sleep with it on. Um, then and my trade in for this, which is the sixth, is only 100 and a quarter.
anybody out there. Are you gonna make the jump? Anybody definitively saying I'm going to buy the new iPhone 14? Let us know. I'd be curious. I
Apple Watch. What are you going to buy it? What are you thinking?
well, I'm like you. I mean, I literally just bought the 13 Pro Max at the I think December of last year. It hadn't even been a year yet.
I know.
And I bought it. I bought it through AT&T, and it was one of those. I think I got an $800 rebate for my.
12.
I think it was a 10X.
Really?
Yeah, an X Pro. I don't know. It was a 10. I had skipped a few versions, but I was yeah. I got it. I was surprised. It gave me $800 for it, and but it was one of those with AT&T. You don't get $800 immediately. You have to. It comes over like a credit, a monthly credit for 36 months.
Well, that's
So that
why
way they keep you in the service.
that's
But
what
I
it
already
is with.
paid for. I paid for it, so I get the credit for as long as. I still use AT&T. So technically, I should be able to switch the phone. I could buy it from Apple and just switch my service onto that and get the whatever the rebate is for a 13 Pro Max. I don't know. I don't know.
It's 720. The other thing is though, you can't really do it. Sadly, and Apple knows this. You can't really do with that. Which phone will you buy, Scott?
Wait a minute. Did you see
Um,
what he said? Also, I sleep with a watch on my ankle. Please tell me that's a
an
joke.
Apple Watch?
They
Why?
call him Inspector Gay.
Yeah, apparently they do.
Yes,
Why
please.
would you sleep with it on your ankle?
Matter of fact, Scott, if you're available right now, we may need you to dial in to explain this one.
Yeah, you up for coming on?
If you let us know, I'll shoot you the link because that's got me curious.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's bring him on. Scott, if you're interested,
Let
let
us
us
know.
know and we'll get you on the show for the remainder of it. Last 20 minutes.
You could also talk about the new gig too, because that's pretty interesting too. All right, he is. All right, I'll
Okay.
shoot you it in a messenger message. Scott, hold on a second. Keep it going. Oh, Jeff's
Yeah,
got something to say there.
the X-ray.
What's that X-ray?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, but it sounds like Verizon has some issues.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I didn't. So I went. I could have gotten it for $100 less on Verizon, but the other side is, which you can't ignore. At least I don't think you can, given my past with some of these phones, is Apple Care. And and I pay for Apple Care. I pay for the good news about Apple Care is, like I have it for the i13 Max. It's $269 for the theft plus damage because I do that too, and that means if my phone gets lost, it doesn't have to be stolen. If it gets the XR, okay. If the phone gets lost, I can get a replacement
Who is this?
without.
That's not a watch. It's an ankle monitor.
It's
Got to find out who that is because that's funny.
got to be Bob, but
Uh, well, I'll tell you, the first couple of
yeah,
LinkedIn users was not Bob.
yeah.
One was
True.
let's see, I want to make sure I get MJ Crab Barbarus,
Oh no, yeah, MJ, she's awesome. I didn't know
and
you were on MJ.
yeah, and then the other one who was a LinkedIn just LinkedIn user was AJ Awatramani,
No, him I don't know.
Chief Product Officer.
Where?
Let's see, Chief Project Officer of On Demand, Cornerstone On Demand. I don't,
Oh, Cornerstone. That's a substantial company.
so you
It's
got
interesting.
AJ and MJ. All right, that's a good
So
combination.
that's how it comes in as LinkedIn user. If your initial has a J in it.
Oh, wait a minute. Then Bob is saying Bob. Wait a minute. Yeah, so Bob was the last comment about the ankle monitor. So Scott, I sent you the link, and it should be in your Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Just click join us, and we'll bring you right on. Bob, are you thinking about getting the Apple iPhone 14? Let us know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and other LinkedIn users, just put your name in and let us know.
Well, your security settings are set in a way that StreamYard apparently can't read them. I don't know what that is, but Bob Fagel's been like that for 2 years and counting.
I know. I know. So
That
yeah, I'm fascinated by all of it. Um, what about the AirPods Pro 2? Are you going to get those?
I don't know. Well, we have Scott Wilder with
There
us.
he is. How you
We have
doing, man?
Hey guys.
the wild side, the wilder.
How you doing, man? Advertising.
Hey, guys.
Oh, wait a
We're
minute.
advertising.
We're getting some latency there.
Advertising.
Hey, guys.
We're advertising. Scott, do you have speakers on?
Yeah, I had to mute for a second.
Okay.
Let us know when you're ready, Scott. I got you on mute.
Yeah, the Pro, they actually look like they're really interesting. They're very adaptive.
Oh, look at this.
Michael Markman.
A gangster.
That's right. We got a Gilmore gangster here.
All right, Scott, are you all right now?
I'm okay. You guys were in
Yeah, there we
stereo.
Yeah. Hey, How about Mr. Markman? You, I think you already told me the rice sandwich thing again, but
Yeah.
you got to
So,
explain this because nobody's like, what the hell is he talking about?
so before the turn of the century, Michael and I worked at Apple, and we had lunch once in a while, and I insisted on rice sandwiches.
What in the hell is a rice?
I didn't
Is
like what
that
they could put on the bread, so they gave us rice instead.
so? You had rice instead of what?
No
Between two
bologna,
slices
no
of bread?
bologna, just
So you
rice.
had a slice of bread, rice, and another slice of bread.
Exactly. It was a
Wow.
classic.
Classic high carb diet.
Classic, never to be duplicated ever again.
Right. Did you at least vary the rice?
Yeah, some brown rice in there, some wild
Yeah.
rice.
Wild
Yeah, you
rice
have different types
occasionally,
of rice.
red rice, right? You just
Minute
mix them on
rice.
up.
Yeah, no, it was delicious.
A scoop of
Oh,
rice
so
became,
Michael, you did that too?
but his is worse. He had mustard. Are you
No, the
kidding me?
mustard's good. I had,
Oh
yeah.
no, bread,
Oh my
rice,
God.
and mustard. No thanks, man. No thanks. All right, let's move to something more pleasant to think about. The iPhone 14. So you're definitively gonna get it.
I'm thinking about it. I like new gadgets, so why not? You know,
All right, you got to explain the ankle thing because
Yeah.
yeah.
in terms of the biomechanics, I was thinking like, can it track my health around my ankle? So I actually tried that. It doesn't do as good a job as it does
What
on
does
your
it
wrist
do?
because it's not built that way.
Wait a minute. What? So what drove you to try it?
Um, it's just a different way of measuring things. I don't like things on my wrists, you know. Maybe it's because I was on parole once and I had a ankle.
Well, Bob Fagel thought you might be using it as an ankle monitor. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, they have ankle monitors there, so I was just like trying something different. Um, I thought like it'd be less, I don't know, intrusive at night when I was sleeping. So
So
Was it?
what measures did it come up? Did it give you any accuracy or
no, it was kind of a dud. But
it
there
was
are
looking for your
ankle.
pulse on your ankle and it couldn't like pick it up? Is that
It couldn't pick up like my pulse, couldn't pick up my sleeping patterns, things like that.
Well,
all
I
right?
mean, I can imagine it wasn't built for anything but a wrist.
I've
It's a
never seen
watch.
the
It is
doctor
a
like
watch.
I've never seen the doctor try to find your pulse and go to your ankle.
Right. Not only that, it's a watch. Nobody looks down at their ankle to get the time.
Yeah, but when you're sleeping, who cares?
I do. I wake up and I look at my watch sometimes, see what time it is.
Anyway, there's a
So
lot out there about like using Apple watches on your ankle. So
all right, I got to
There
ask you
is?
this. I'll ask both of you guys this. So as more of these devices are able to capture more of our health data, does that make you at all skittish as to what happens to the data?
no, Big Brother's already knows what I'm doing.
Oh,
I mean, I
that's a
think it's like, it's scarier for me if you go on Google and type in your name and see, what information is there, like where you live, things like that.
Wow.
yeah, which is I don't know. I mean, at this point, you know, I think part of it's just due to when I was young and I had all I was having the FBI watching me for my radical activity. They always knew where I lived anyway, so it's like I don't get worried by people who know where I live so much. I mean, I don't make it a point to let them know, but if I see it online, I don't find it remarkable. I mean, look, think of it this way: I still get all these very personal direct mail pieces to Paul R. Greenberg. I don't have a middle name at all, right? And it's right to my house. But so and
They
yeah,
gave
it's
you a
Paul.
middle initial?
Yeah, and I've had these emails I mean, these direct mail pieces for years, and we'll get. If you look at the identity check stuff online, they'll have 20 other Paul Greenbergs, all of whom are completely mixed up with addresses and names. They'll have my right address in there, but then they'll equate me with being a 32-year-old who actually lives in Minneapolis, right? So, it's like, okay, let her rip.
even if you trust Apple on privacy, there are a gazillion other apps that send your data to their own cloud servers. And also, I'm kind of with Jeff. Scares the shit out of me, but I want to live long enough to see my sons grow up. So I finally got a Fitbit. So I mean, if it feels like, yeah, your address, there's certain pieces of information that they're out there and you can't do anything about it. But are you more protective of your health information and the implications of that, and what happens if people get their hands on it? And like if the your medical insurance company finds out, oh, is blood pressure is this today, yeah, we better up the premiums or something,
Yeah.
or you don't care about that, or you're
I'm
not
not
worried
as concerned about that. I'm more concerned about something coming to my front door.
Right.
like a
Well,
package.
Like a package.
the way I look at that is yesterday I went out my front door and got stung on the head by a yellow jacket. So right, so they're already at my front door. There's a colony behind the light on our deck.
Yeah. I thought you were going to
So
say you got an ankle watch delivered to your front door.
no, I'm going to put a watch on the yellow jackets.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can't bring myself to kill them though. Can't do it. They're
All right,
just
so
innocent.
Scott, real quick, thanks for joining us. It's really
I-
interesting to hear, kind of your approach to it. But tell us, because maybe some people don't know who you are. We know you very well,
Yeah.
and we know that you recently started a new gig. So why don't you tell us about the company that you joined, what they do, and what you're doing there?
Sure, sure. Just one last thought on the watch is, I think it's all these monitors are really interesting. And I think it's, when you like taking your pulse from different parts of your body, it's interesting looking at like how a watch might work on your ankle. There are specific items for that. Anyway, I
I'm
nerd
sorry,
out
I
there.
just had to bust out because you do not want to make the mistake of going to Jeff Risher's house. He has a snub nose 45 waiting for you. If you do,
Wow, that means when he gets an Amazon package, he shoots it.
don't
Yeah.
go there on an unexpected trip. I'll tell you right now. All right, Scott.
Ooh,
Yeah. So anyway, so if you don't know me, Scott Wilder, I always say take a walk on the Wilder side. I've worked at a few companies like Apple, Marketo, HubSpot, which I left in December. Brent and I met many moons ago. It was this century though, when I was at Intuit doing small business stuff. Um, I guess my background is more in kind of a community and customer engagement, and so recently left HubSpot and joined a company called Base, formerly known as CrowdVicate. And you know how there exists marketing automation and sales automation? We look at customer marketing automation. And so more and more retention related activities such as webinars, communities, advocacy are being centralized organizationally, going under customer marketing. And right, so why not have one system that can track all that data that comes from those programs, one system that handles all the automation and workflows, and one system that integrates with others. Another way to look at it is I know you guys are deep in the Salesforce world, right? So 100% of sales reps are in Salesforce, 50% of marketers are in Salesforce, and no customer marketers are in Salesforce. So why not find a system that they can all be in, um, and really have all that data come in?
so how's the data flow now work exactly? Sounds like it comes from the activities to somewhere.
Yeah, for whatever platform your customers are on, right? So it could be an events platform, it could be a communities platform, it could be an LMS customer education platform. All that flows into our platform, our system. And then another thing is advocacy. So advocacy is a hot space right now. So you can use our platform to manage your advocacy program as well. Or what we did at HubSpot is you can embed the base experience into the HubSpot experience. So what you're trying to do is you have all these different platforms. So on the back end, you want to create it all, have all that data in one place. But on the front end, you also want to start thinking about how do you integrate those experiences into one customer experience. Nobody offers everything. So for like us, we don't have to be the destination. So you can embed it into Choros or Salesforce or Vanilla. You can embed it into a customer education platform, etc.
So if I'm a customer marketer and I'm looking at this, what do I see?
You see, so say you have a community platform. So you'll see your community platform, and then part of it will be the base experience embedded into it. I can show you. I can demo it. But part of it is, yeah. So if you're on like an events platform, you would see like the customer's going to one place, but on that place we've embedded the base experience. So somebody goes, to the community, they join the community, they're posting, they're doing discussions, but then you might want to have advocacy sort of challenges or asks where, you know, um, do you want to create a customer testimonial? Do you want to go to use this site, go from here to go to G2 and post a review? And all that we're tracking on the back end.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So what's if you're
I have a
looking at
plane
your
going
plus,
overhead, by the way. That's why I was trying to mute myself.
I can hear it actually.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be on that plane. Forgot. Um, so let's say, given where you were at, given that we're seeing all kinds of changes in how people are doing business, let's say, a lot of obviously for the last, I don't know, probably 8 years to a decade, we've been talking about personalization, and that's been a
Yep.
big focus. And then it's down to, oh, you're looking at, say, account-based marketing, which even though it was sort of up and now it's kind of down again, um, it still was focusing on a personalized look at an account. And now we're starting to see some of the stuff that we talk about that's humanization, which is a bit further than that, and is more focused on what you, not just how do you optimize you know optimize the offer to human beings based on their personal, but how you actually, it's down to the fundamentals of the interaction. So given those changes, and given that you're dealing with generations that are, the millennials kind of taking over the world right now, so how does base look at their roadmap for the next, I'm saying 3 years, which is probably about the right time?
Yeah, no, it's great what you just asked because you can actually take information from base. So base, think of base as like here in the middle, and then you have your CRM system here, and then you also have your community or other platform here. Base can take the data and push personalized messages in a pop-up or embedded into a page on another platform. So if base knows like, I've given a customer testimonial, for example, then the next time I go back to the company website, base will make sure it says, hey, thank you, Scott, for giving that testimonial. Right.
Okay,
So
so okay, let me throw a little more into it though. So, well, I've become this big advocate recently of something that actually Gartner came up with in 2018, which is called multi-experience, MX. And what's interesting about it is it's not, the classic way of looking at a customer journey is via touch points of one kind or another, and channel. The touch points are typically channels, really. They're saying no, it's modalities really that we have to look at this through, right? Meaning it's also involves literal touch, and it involves voice, and it involves facial recognition, and it involves all these different things that go effectively, even though the Gartner doesn't put it this way, it involves human senses as well as, um, the places that they interact in, and the places they meet with you in some way. Um, how are you dealing with that? Because ultimately, that's going to become that's a huge part of how people do things now. Not fully on the business side yet,
yep.
but it's on the way, because it is part of their home life.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great call out. So yeah, we are mainly B2B. There are some B2C customers, but so B2B is a little bit farther behind the curve.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think voice is really key. When I was at Adobe 4 years ago, they were talking about, and I think it's when Brent started really digging into the voice stuff as well. Some B2B companies were thinking about how do you incorporate voice. That's kind of died down a bit, but to your point, I think it will come back. I feel like I just became a millennial because now all my text messages are done via voice. Like I don't even type anymore on my text
Yeah,
messages.
you dictate on your iPhone and have to deal with auto correction, changing things as you hit send.
Yeah,
Right? Happens
exactly.
all the damn time. I hate autocorrect, man.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you because you mentioned you worked for HubSpot and you left there at the end of last year. So inbound is going on right now. Have How does it feel not to be involved? I mean, you were there a couple of years. Is it do you miss it, or is your company? I think they were a customer and now they're a client. So is there anything going on this week for you guys with HubSpot going on with inbound?
So I do miss it. Great people there. Really enjoyed working there. And I'd always worked at big companies. So like I said, or maybe I said earlier, is I wanted to try the small company thing. We Base was a customer and we used it at HubSpot. So we're not doing a lot this week. The reason being is there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Next week is SaaStr. Then, in 2 weeks, I have to buy Brett a drink and Paul a drink at Dreamforce. CMX is next week. So you kind of have to, there's too much going on. I also, last year, I presented at Inbound and I miss that too. I had a lot of fun putting the presentation together and then giving it. So.
No, you'll do it at Base's user conference.
Yeah, we had Obsession this year, which was great because we're obsessed about the customer. Next year, we want you guys there. But yeah, no, I'm in terms of these conferences, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person in a few weeks. So
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Hey, well, Scott, thanks for jumping on and let us know when you get the new iPhone and put it on. Get the new iWatch and put it on or Apple Watch and put it on your ankle there. So
I will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking.
Try
forward
your
to
ear next time. You can take temperature that way. So try your ear. And it's got body temperature now. So try your ear for the watch.
Yeah.
See what happens.
all right.
If it's Apple,
All
I'll
right.
buy it.
You're not alone, brother.
Yeah.
As I
Amen.
look at this MacBook Pro I'm running this on. All right. So on behalf of Scott Wilder and his ankle, I am Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM players, and no matter where we are or where we go, we have to do things right. We have to say goodbye to Minnie. Bye, Minnie.
I don't see her.
Oh, and next week, I'll bring us back for just a second. Next week, it's the week before Dreamforce, and we have Colin Fleming, the man in charge of running Salesforce Plus. He's going to join us, and it's really kind of cool that let's put it like this. We hope he'll be able to join us because Salesforce Plus is playing a huge role in Dreamforce. They're expecting 150,000 people at Dreamforce. And Salesforce Plus is where a lot of the content is going to be streamed from for people who aren't able to be there. So we're hoping that Colin will be able to join us to talk about what to expect Dreamforce week. But if he's not, I think they're going to have a backup. But we're really looking forward to that. Not only hearing from him, but going out there and being a part of it again.
Yeah. Well, more on that next week.
Yeah. Is that one of those TBDs?
Yeah.
Or TBAs?
TBD.
I just hope it doesn't get ransomed. That's all.
That's it. Well, why not? The experience will be fun.
All right. If QNAP, if you're planning on being at Dreamforce, stay away from us.
Yeah. Don't go near us. Or I'll come to you, though.
But if Deadbolt is there, I'm just
Let's come on the show.
All
All right.
right.
Location to get you arrested.
We'll see you next week.